Hi everyone, I'm Olivia and I am going to do an aftercare of Coleus once you've propagated it and started growing it, of where I put my Coleus at my house. I put it in my bedding, I put it in pots, I put it in different size pots, different places around my house. It gets different sunshade, some dry out faster than others, so I just wanted to do a video of I take care of them after I propagated them. If you haven't seen my first video with me and Tucker, we actually had to do it for a school project, so it's been pretty popular, so I'm trying to keep it going. But that shows how we propagated the cuttings, or Coleus cuttings, and how we got them rooted. It's actually pretty easy, so if you haven't watched that video yet, please go back, check it out. And then once you've created those cuttings, this video should help you keep them alive, keep them healthy, keep them growing, for your whole season. So, further ado, let's go check out some cuttings. So this is Coleus number 1, we're gonna call it. I grew this one in the greenhouse, same exact way as we stated in the first video. Started it in around April, got it out around May, planted it in May. So it's been in here for probably 3 months now. It has gotten a lot of rain this past week, so it's very nice, very vibrant. Leaves are pretty good, no curling, no signs of wilting or anything like that. It's been around 85 to 80-ish for the past week or so, so it hasn't been heat stressed or anything like that. Unfortunately, in late June, early July, I wasn't home for about 2 weeks, so it didn't get any water for about 2 weeks, and it was really drought stressed, and so I think that's a result of the flower. It did flower early, and I think that's because it thought it was going to die, so it pushed the flower so it can reproduce. Okay, so these are the Coleus, these guys right here, that I planted in this bedding area. It is on a drip irrigation system, so basically it gets water for about 15 minutes every day. The monitor is rain sensitive, so amount of water that we get every day or so determines on how it's going to turn on, if it's going to turn on or not turn on, which is very helpful. I honestly haven't had to water or fertilize any of these all summer since I planted them in May, which has been super nice. They've gotten a lot bigger than the other one in the other pot just because it hasn't had to compete with other plants directly around it for sunlight, water, or nutrients. This soil is actually brand new. We put this in last year just because we had some issues with this whole bedding area not draining correctly. So we went through, put gravel down, put a base layer down, and then we put nice potting soil on top. So a lot of these plants are very happy this year, to say the least. A lot of these plants I actually grew, well, most of them, in the greenhouse, so would love to talk to you more about those. They get sunlight from around 8 a.m. to 2 or 3. The house shades them then. So it is a nicer place for Coleus. They don't get as sun stressed or drought stressed or anything like that. So they have gotten a little bit bigger. They're getting ready to bloom, trying to form a bud, so I'm excited to see what those flowers look like. Also planted this one in May, same time, same growing conditions as the other two. It isn't getting watered as much just because this pot is so massive and I can't pick it up, I can't drain it every year, that it doesn't need watered as much because the drainage system isn't as good. I've devised this little 2-pot idea here. Basically, the middle pot or the inner pot is sitting on pool noodles and rocks and stuff to help give a little gap in between the other soils to help it drain better and have a little bit more filtration. The soil is the same soil. I leave it in all year, every year for probably like 9 years now. I just throw some Osmocote in it. Read the directions on that. It's pretty simple to use, foolproof, I think. Not an endorsement in any way, but that's what I use, and my Coleus look pretty darn good. These ones aren't flowering quite yet. I think they're a little behind just for getting not as much sun as the other two. Alright, that is the end to this Coleus aftercare propagation video. Please, if you have comments or questions, comment. Subscribe if you're new, and I'd love to hear suggestions for next video or even like a voiceover, because I know these shots were not as great as they could be. So please let me know. I'd love to help you out and make your backyards look beautiful. So don't forget to like or subscribe.